If you're not, log out, clear your history, log back in, and you will. Doesn't cost you anymore. And I've heard some questions even with some of our colleagues out there, our peers and some other CRMs about, does this cost me more? No. You're paying a tech fee. That's your agreement with EXP. Whatever that is, then that's what it is. So there it is. Okay, so kvCORE questions, you should be on BoldTrail. We're here for BoldTrail. What is the difference? It's faster. It's easier to navigate. Everything that you've learned in kvCORE is still relevant. You don't have to relearn anything. You don't have to change anything. Sorry, I got a bit of a echo there. Now I'm back on track. A little weird to hear yourself when you're talking, but what we're hoping to the objective today, what you're going to get out of this. We call it the client journey here at BoldTrail. And I'm sure you've heard Inside Real Estate. Inside Real Estate's the company. kvCORE was the previous. BoldTrail is the new. Here we are. Okay? We're offering this class every Wednesday. We have some exciting things happening for you on Mondays. We're going to do a next level training, I believe, starting next Monday. Keep your eyeballs peeled for that. It's essential that you understand how contacts are organized. We here at the company believe that it's the core of how this whole system is organized. So we're going to go through those things and make sure that your import experience, flawless. What do I do once my people are in? Check, because that's a big question too. And then along the way, best practices that we have. The session is recorded, and I understand that our EXP friends are going to make this available to you. So what I'd like to start with is the funnel. I bet all of you have seen the funnel. Well, if you haven't seen the funnel, think of this as a vision of a lead from beginning to end. Coming in at the top of the funnel, they know who you are. They start browsing listings. They're on your website if you're doing your job well. Now I'm making a decision. I'm moving my way down. The lead is moving its way down. Now, all these are connected to the statuses in the platform, which is the reason we really want to show you this. When you think about, I got a new lead, it started to shop, now we're chatting, now we've made a decision. Making sense so far? Awareness, that's the first one, the big one. I just dropped it in. I just got a new lead. Okay, they are starting to check out the market. Folks, this can take a half a year to 2 years. It's essential that we're nurturing these people. Just because, and Natalie spoke on this on Monday, friends, and I listened to it, when we talk about like the mindset of an online lead, just because I don't pick up today doesn't mean I'm going to not pick up tomorrow or 3 months from now. It's essential that we are stopping their search wherever else they're looking at and getting them onto our BoldTrail website. Start nurturing them with the tools we're going to discuss today. And then you're going to win that business. It's that simple. Okay, so now we drop down. They are aware of you. They know who you are. Now I'm saying, well, I don't know. You're basically, call it pick an agent, if you will. So I'm looking. People think, oh, if I search enough, I'll find some deal out there online, right? But for us, as we're considering BoldTrail, and remember, if you just joined me late, kvCORE, now BoldTrail. If you don't see that, hit refresh, clear your history, you will. We're starting our search, okay? The most strategic and effective thing we can do during this time is ensure that they are on your website and not on someone else's. We call this active new lead or prospect. Okay, on that previous screen, let me put it back in there on the awareness. I'd actually like to show you this one again. We call them new leads and prospects, okay? I'm aware. I either signed up on your website, I'm a new lead, either a buyer or a seller, or I'm a prospect. That means you added me. You said I'm a prospect. I don't know what you are. And then in consideration, we call these either prospect, new lead, or active. There is some overlap, of course, until we make them our client and put them in contract, right? We have automation for all these things I'm introducing to you. Prospect, new lead, active lead. I'm thinking about it. Now I'm making a decision. We call this contract and client. And what this makes it really easy, there are 7 stages of the client journey that we've identified, including the concept of buyer and seller. We have automation for all those scenarios. I'm making a decision. That's when you become my client, and that's when we write a contract. So what we're going to do today is we're going to be having a little fun, creating a lead together, and along the way, we're going to understand how the system works. So I'm now in the decision part of the funnel. I won you. Contract accepted. Congratulations. You just sold a house. You either listed it or you helped them on the buy side, right? And for us in the system, they're either closed or sphere. And I think this would be helpful for everybody on this call. You know, if you're importing your leads, friends, our recommendation is not to put them in as closed, but rather as sphere. We use the closed status for people that you've actually closed using this system of engagement. It'll make sense here in a minute, because when you shift a status, if I moved you from contract to close, here's what's happening along the way. It's changing the campaign for you. So you don't even have to think about it. You can edit these things, but just keep these things in mind, high level, and we're going to get into it. We've talked about 7 statuses so far. So the way that it works in the system, if we were going to break it down for you, how does this all work? How do I know how to navigate? How do I know how to follow up with people, engage, all of it? These are the main biggies, friends. Status, deal type, hashtag, and source. Now, status, that's a new lead. That's a prospect. Deal type, that's a buyer. That's a seller. You know what hashtags are? Anything you want them to be. This is how in the system, and this is a mind blower, you can create your own categories, your own labels, your own organizational method, and then where it came from. All of these things can play into how you use this system. But the basics are status and type. It's a new lead, it's a buyer. It's a prospect, it's a seller. Statuses are first biggie. Here are the 7. Take a second to just take a peek at that. What you're seeing here is a screenshot of a client record. We've outlined it a bit. And really, it's divided into 3 sections. Over here on the left for Billy Madison, we have all the info. In the center, we have all the timeline info, emails, texts. We integrate with your email, by the way. You can integrate Gmail or Outlook and integrate your calendar so you can continue those email conversations from within the system. Just as a side note, we're not talking about that today, but I just want you to be aware. I heard it in the last class, and I just thought I'd let you know that too. So we can continue that conversation in here once you've imported your contacts. Now I have these 7 contacts. We call it the client journey. I know it might look a little small. We're going to get in there a bit deeper, but if you'll notice, the client journey I've highlighted here: sphere, prospect, new lead, active, client, contract, and close. Okay, got it. Campaigns for all, yes. Behavioral automation for all, yes. The first step for you to think about when you're importing your leads, or even if you've imported them and you're thinking about how to categorize them, this needs to be focus number 1. Focus number 2 is going to be type. So if we were to pull that image out from the client record, this is the client journey that you see on every client record. There's sphere, there's prospect, new lead, active, client, contract, and close. How do we define them? Don't get caught up in the minutia, the details of what we're actually calling, because remember, your takeaway here is the automation. If you want to call somebody hot, cold, medium, 1 to 3 months, pre-approved, cash buyer, FHA loan, wants a single story, no front step, big backyard with horses, you can hashtag all that stuff. But the first level is you got to understand for our follow-ups, our drips, and the automation are based on this concept. As I move a client through this journey, it's changing the campaign for me along the way, dropping the sphere, adding the prospect. Now, I should point out that typically the client journey either is going from sphere to active, client, contract, close, or prospect to active, client, contract, closed, or new to active, client, contract, close. These are really our 3 categories of how leads are going to be in the system. Someone signs up on your website, new lead, period. You add a lead, you import the lead, You're calling it a prospect. We're not. You want to import the people you know, your past clients. We're asking you when you import them to give a column that says Sphere. And we have a lead import team, no cost, to help you get them in correctly. And we have a guided, think of it as kind of wizard-driven import to help you get there. Okay, but this is an important biggie. Folks, the system even lets you know when a lead responds to one of those campaign messages in the new lead and prospect status. Meaning, someone signs up on my website, campaign attaches, it's a buyer. They get a text, hey, I saw you checking out my website. I'm paraphrasing here. Let me know if you need any help. Here's my number and contact. Great. They respond, yeah, I really want to see this house over here, 123 Main. It will immediately move them to active for you. This is the big automation in the system that allows you to take over control of all communication. From here on out, the system will not move anything. You decide when they're client, you decide when they're in contract, you decide when they're closed. What we're doing here in the active status is letting you know they responded. Somehow, something they said. It could be anything. I want to be clear that it's not saying I'm going to buy or list with you. It could say, the sky is blue and supercalifragilistic kind of, But the point is you're controlling communication from this point out. Now, client, I moved you there, right? Most likely in today's landscape and environment, they signed a buyer representation agreement if you're on the buy side, or they've definitely signed a listing agreement with you on the sell side, right? It puts them in a different bucket, and along the way, it's changing the old campaign and adding the new. You seeing all this automation, folks? I don't have to think, oh gosh, I got to go in here now and put them on client. Where's my client campaign? No, it's doing it for you. As long as all these are turned on, which is why doing a test that we're going to do here today is essential, because then you know how easy it is when it happens for real. And then I closed you. This campaign runs for a year, FYI. We ask for testimonials, referrals, and at the end of that year, we recommend you move them back over to Sphere, and then put a Sphere campaign on them and keep following up with them. Maybe send them a monthly market report, a monthly valuation on the value of their home. Okay, we're dropping into status. Okay, status. There is an option of archive, and if you own the lead, you can delete it. If you ever come across a lead that you cannot delete, it's because you don't own it. It might have been assigned to you from the company. So let me just stop you there. It's like, why can't I delete this? And it's grayed out. That's why. But if you own it, you imported it, you generated it, you can do whatever in the world you want with it. You can delete it, export it. We recommend, instead of deleting, to archive. I have a real world example for you here. Working with a client, hadn't seen this person in about 8 months, and they resumed their search, and they had told me that they were not going to be searching this year. Found an old email. I had archived them, which turns off all communication, and they started searching again. Now, think how valuable that would have been. If I would have deleted that person, if they said I'm never looking, that would not have happened. So we do not recommend to delete leads. You do what you need to do. It's your business and your platform. But there it is. Okay. So here we are in deal type. There are 5. I said 7 statuses: new lead, prospect, client, contract, closed, and Sphere, right? But I can also be any one of those and one of these, or multiple ones of these. I could be a buyer and a seller, and I like to answer that question that say, well, it's a past client, or let's say it's a Sphere is my status. I know you, I sold you, I hashtag you past client. Well, are you a buyer or a seller? Well, in this case, you could be both. Maybe I'm going to buy a house and sell this house. And what I do when in doubt is do both. You can do that. You could be a buyer, seller, and a vendor. Maybe you're a home inspector and my client. The point being here, we got to pick at least one. You can pick multiple types. All the automation, again, is based on status and type. So I have new lead buyer campaigns and prospect buyer campaigns, okay? When we're importing leads or adding a lead manually, which is what we're about to do together, pick one. Hashtag it whatever you want, but it's got to have a status, it's got to have a type. Is everybody with me so far? I mean, that's pretty much it. And hashtags is your magic bullet here in the system. Take a peek at this contact record. Got a little screenshot here. We're going to get live and do a drive here in a sec. But for now, just take a look for a minute, okay? Let's see what we see. I see he's a sphere, or she. Could be either. Patio furniture over here. She's a seller. There's their number. I see where they live in Murrieta. And down here below, I see hashtags. They asked a question. They're actually one of my past clients because I tagged them that way. I put them on a list to go ahead and send out newsletters, which you can do. I have a list that I imported, maybe geofarming. You getting the idea here? They can be anything. It's actually a friend. You just don't use spaces. You don't even need the symbol. You're creating your own category, because I would hear that at the beginning when I started training on this platform. Well, what if I don't want to call it a sphere? Well, you're going to have to pick one of them, but then you can pick whatever you want for the hashtag, and we can filter and search, and we can even use the automation with hashtags. They're your magic bullet here, folks. This is how you call someone who you want to call, or what you want to call them. Here's some ideas over here on the right. You just don't need spaces. These are in no way all-inclusive. No one sees them except you. Over time, you're building your own library. So if I'd used first-time buyer before and I typed in FIR, then it would come down. I could select it, hit enter, done. And then I'm putting them in a group. Think about if you wanted to share a listing right now. Okay, you got a listing. Congratulations. Number one, I'd go to Playbooks. And I'd use that Playbook feature to automate that listing, to promote on social media in just a few clicks. So easy. But two, maybe I want to take a peek at what I've been doing. And over time, maybe I've been hashtagging my people pool home buyer. And I just got a listing with the pool. If I'd been hashtagging my people and I said, I want to share this listing now with everybody in my platform that I've been hashtagging pool, you getting the idea? How you can connect one to many things? Don't have to worry about cap sensitivity, higher or lower. Does need to be all one word. There are a few special symbols that they won't let you do, but we'll tell you. I don't know which ones they are. It's one of those, but generally almost all will work. Underscored and dashes. Just be careful, like dollar signs and percentages and stuff like that. But it'll tell you again. But other than that, anything goes. And then finally, we have source. Where did it come from? Now, if I'm importing a lead, the source is going to be import, even if technically that came from Zillow. But I could hashtag it Zillow. You see how that you can make anything work for your business? Now, if I'm paying for leads, and this is over on the left of the contact record that I'm highlighting here, when they signed up, when you added them. And that could be the case. Maybe I was working with Wendy for 2 years, but now I just imported her yesterday. When you're importing your leads, use a column hashtag and call her exactly what she is, and then you can quickly and easily do exactly what you need to do with Wendy. Now, if I was paying for leads, it would let me know. If I'm generating leads through my own efforts, agent website, organic website, it would let me know. But this source can also come into play for how the automation works. If it comes from this source, I want this thing to happen. Now, what I'm recommending to you to keep it simple is focus on status type and hashtag. What's status again? Prospect. What's type again? Buyer. What's hashtag? Whatever you want it to be. So now together, what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick little, let's call it tour of the contact record, and then we're going to create one together. The one thing you should know is that we're not going to use the email that you log in with for proper testing, and the same goes for your telephone number. I heard on the last session about when does it display the smart number, when does it display the my actual cell phone. Well, you have a mobile app that you can download. We have self-paced training all over the place when you first log in, and it will tell you, here's where you download the mobile app. When you use the mobile app, you can display the cell, yours, or the smart number. But here I am, I'm looking at a leads record. Here it is on the left, all the info. That's where I'm going to be able to see, is it a buyer or a seller? What's their name, their phone number? Folks, we're even giving people that sign up on your website predictive scores. What in the world is that? And what predictive scoring is, based on their behavior, the information we've gathered and or validated, we give it a basic 1 to 5 star rating. And over time, this will adjust based on behavior. Let's say they gave us a bad email, maybe it drops a star. Maybe they go on vacation, it drops a star. They come back, they're searching again. They're on my website every day. They just called me. So you can filter your contacts based on this predictive scoring if they signed up on your website, which is why we want you to get them to your website immediately. Okay. But I can see all the source and the hashtags over here on the left. Now, in the center of a contact record is everything. Every email, property clicked on. Folks, we're even monitoring opens and clicks on their emails if they actually opened it or not. Opened it, great. Clicked on it, better. Properties clicked on. And remember, your MLS is synced with the platform, so any property that I see, I can quickly click on and see my agent, view of that. Email sent, text sent, actions taken, hashtags added. I moved you from client to contract. We're going to let you know you just changed them from client to contract. And on the far right are all my actions. These are where all the automations are. So what we're going to do is add a quick lead, and I'm going to ask you to do 3 things. Put them on a property search alert, put them on an area market report, and put them on a drip campaign. We're going to make it quite simple. You're going to test that, and maybe you show up next week or you show up at our Monday, and we can get in, talk about some more advanced things. But this is how we're going to learn it. It's all about right time, right message, and nurturing. Again, I call you today, and I hear this so many times over the years, and you don't pick up. I got this lead from who knows where. Doesn't matter. You paid for it. You generated it. Someone told you got a lead. So they're interested in something. So then you reached out, and they didn't respond. And they don't respond to your email. And they didn't respond to your text. And they didn't pick up when you called. Is that a bad lead? How do you know? I know that can be frustrating, but our goal should be to drive them to our website one way or another and to continue to nurture them till they're ready. And that's what we're doing here today. I'm getting all my people in. I'm making sure they're properly organized to make it as simple as possible. Heck, you got AI built in all over the place. You got predictive scoring, lead validation, but let's focus, keep it simple, get them in, follow up, repeat, and then generate new leads. Repeat. That's what we're doing here. But today we're focused on the automation. You get your people in, now what? And now what is in a reactive type of sense is I'm going to either decide to put them on an alert, a campaign, a market report, maybe all 3. Maybe I send them a mass text. Well, a mass email. New laws prohibit us from sending mass text out to anybody that hasn't opted into our website. Let me repeat that. It's not EXP. It's not Inside Real Estate. It's none of our friends, the other CRMs, but it is the government, and they're telling us that you can't mass text people. I can mass email them. My director and I were talking about this today. I even made a note about it because I thought it was so important. There is a place in your database for every type of person, contact, and lead, no matter where they're at in the buy or list, spectrum. It's my friend, it's my cousin, it's my girlfriend, my wife, my niece, my nephew, doesn't matter, neighbor, friend, work associate. If you want this to work, the more people that you put in here, and now that you know hopefully a better understanding of how to categorize them, that's how we're going to win. Because guess what? Just because Kelly tells me, no, I'm not looking to buy our list. I love my house. But then I'm saying, hey, do you mind if I send you a monthly market report? Because I know you live in Murrieta. And you say, hey, sure, go ahead. And then she hears her neighbor says, you know what? I'm really thinking down to move by the beach. And she's like, you know what? I know an agent there, Brett. Let me give you his name. Because that's how it's going to work. If you're not keeping them top of mind, or if you're not staying top of mind, how do you expect them to remember you whenever that magic moment comes? So when we think about how to have success with this platform, because that's what we all want, right? You want more transactions. You want to use this software to sell more homes, get more listings, and we can help you do that. But you got to get your people in, and you've got to be everybody you know. And now you got to categorize them in a way that makes sense to you. Hashtags allows you to do that. But now we have automation. I can put all these people in. So we're going to, do a little test here. Bear with me. I'd ask you to do it along with me if you can. We have a team to help you get them in. No cost. We even have a templated guide, an example you can download and go, hey, it needs to be in a spreadsheet, a CSV file, comma separated value. That's right, CSV. But a spreadsheet, Excel or a Google sheet, right? We have a team to help you do that. That's what they want to do. That's what we love that they do that. And there's no reason that you should have to worry about it. So we're going to add a lead manually, but I encourage you to import everybody you know using our bulk import. I'll give us a little peek there. And to dig into our Sphere playbooks. You heard me mention for listings, we have a listing playbook. I have a new listing. I don't have time to learn all this jazz. Great. Jump into our listings playbook, hit a few buttons, do one of our real estate plays, and then you can promote it, let your office know, create a text code, put it on a sign writer. Easy peasy, I'm telling you, okay? So then when we think about that part, then we need to really make sure that we have those automations in place. So if I've done all these things and I've got my people in and I'm getting a better idea how the automation works, now what? You shouldn't be following up with all your people every single day, making calls, making texts, sending emails. We have a system to help you do that. I'm not saying you shouldn't personally call. Of course you should, right? Based on your gut, your instinct, your experience. But for the most part, if they don't reach out, okay, I'm going to put you on a drip. I'm going to put you on a monthly market report. The system will let me know when you reach out. And that's the goal that we really want to focus on. And that's going to be our success. So let's get in. Let's do a test lead. Let's have a little fun. And my challenge to all of you is going to be that you actually test it. Meaning when you get a property search alert in your area, that you click on it so you can see how our email clicks, opens, works. Save a property as a favorite when you get that search alert. You know, actually be the consumer and watch how the system communicates with you and with your client and when it happens and what control you have. It's easier than you think. It really is. I know there's any CRM you look at, you're like, oh, where do I even begin, right? Get your people in, okay? The first thing you're all going to do is download the mobile app in the upper right. If you haven't yet, I hope that you all have. If you all downloaded the kvCORE app and now you're on BoldTrail, this is the one thing you will have to do. Everything else, don't worry about it. Websites, your campaigns, and all your contacts, same. But you will need to go download the mobile app, BoldTrail this time, follow the links, text yourself the link for both the agent app and the open house app, and that's it. No cost. If you got to log into kvCORE, you got to log into BoldTrail. If you're on the fence and you're thinking about using this, well, this is what I'm going to ask you to do first is download your mobile. Okay. Second, I'm going to get my people in. Where do I go there? Well, wait. We do have self-paced training here, the Agent Quick Start, that you can take. We have live coaching every single week if you wanted to dig in a little bit more. I mean, we're offering exclusive training for y'all while you make a decision, and maybe some of you are already using it and need some, you know, some best practices, some guidance there. But for everyone else, recording or not, get in that Agent Quick Start. We have tons of other courses in our learning portal. Step 1, get them in. Well, 2, remember, download the mobile app 1, complete training 2 if you can. But at the very least, go over to your lead engine on the left, and guess what? It's a funnel picture. I'm on the left-hand side, everyone. Or guess what? You know, one of my favorite things about the evolution of kvCORE to BoldTrail is the Omni search. And what this is up top. Try searching for support and training. Try searching for create a campaign. The entire system is connected through this Omni search. So if I wanted to find lead engine, I could type it here. If I wanted to find an MLS ID, a property address, last name, email, phone number, put it up here. You know, if I want to go to the lead engine, type it in, see what happens. Well, what do you know? All types of stuff to choose from. So I'm bringing you here to show you where to import your leads. So if you, and you could just go import, right, to that point, bulk import. It can just drive you straight there. You don't even have to go to the main lead engine, which is where all our cool lead engine stuff is, like lead gen tools. But for import, let us handle it. I'm sure all of you, I mean, you passed the real estate exam, and I know what that was like. So I'll tell you, you can handle it. But I'm asking you to let us handle it. In the upper top right, you'll see examples of lists and how we like the status, the type, the hashtag, and we give you a blank template you can use to make it super easy. You just got to export them from wherever they are, put them in a spreadsheet, use our step-by-step, give it to us, and then we can move forward. Okay, so short little video, let us handle it. You're going to submit your file. You're going to jump in here. You're going to answer the questions. You're going to say, I accept. And I would say to all of you that are uncertain about the automations, I was talking with a client that we had just launched. And the concern was the system sending out stuff without your say so. If you're putting in, or you just don't know what's happening, when you import your leads, we're going to ask you, do you want them on market reports? Do you want valuations if you have an address? Do you want them on a smart campaign? If you don't, then say no. We can do these things later. If you don't feel comfortable, what do they say? When are they saying it? That's why we're doing a test. But I'm saying when in doubt, don't. We can always do these things later, and I could put a drip on later if you don't want it to happen now. It is important that every effort of communication, friends, is driving them to your website. So that it has to be a strategy we consider. If you're not doing one of these, when you import all your people, well, then what are you going to do? You tell me. Put that in the back of your mind. So there's importing. Okay, there's importing. What I'd ask us to do now is I'm going to navigate over to contacts in the upper left, or I could just type contacts in that super omni search. Mine might look a little different to yours, folks, just depending. But the thing that I do want you to take away is here in my contacts, I can filter for anything under the sun. I can save filters. I can mass email. Lots of neat stuff I can do in here. Get a lot of intelligence. Give me some focus. My team and I like to create kind of what we call daily to-do lists in the save filters of these leads don't have search alerts. I'm going to work through them. These leads don't have campaigns. I'm going to work through them and decide, should they? You know, there is an example of the predictive scoring. But once you get here to your campaigns, or excuse me, your contacts, I'm bringing us here so that we can add our own. Now, you don't have to be here to add a contact like I'm about to do. In the upper top, next to the marketplace, upper top right, next to that Omni search, this button, as it should, is on every screen. Now, you can add a contact here. I just like to tie the two together, but I could add it from anywhere. So if I had a contact, let's do it here together. Okay? So, you know, have some fun with it. Don't use the email that you log in with, but use a real one because I want you to test it. Don't use your cell phone that's actually your real cell phone. And if you don't have one that you can use that's not yours, then just leave it blank. But if you want to test the text code and how that smart number works, you need to not use your own phone number. I mean, and hopefully that makes sense to everybody because we know your number. We know your listings, and that's what that number knows. And that's why it's calling you. We don't call it. Just remember that. Smart number. We don't call it. It calls us. You have to enable permission, to contact. You're not going to be able to find out if you say no. And you might say, well, how do I know if I've never called them? Yeah, right. So we're going to have to assume that we do. They can unsubscribe. This has to happen. Okay. I could put in your address, my address, city. I'd say, why not? If you want to see how that actually displays on the contact record. And I can send valuations on this monthly. Valuations not to be confused with a CMA, okay? But an average valuation, great way to stay top of mind with my clients. So keep on going. I'm going to ask you all to do lead type of buyer. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but this is the example I'm going to give you. We learned about this. Got it. Can I have more than one? Sure. I'm just saying for this example, let's just do buyer. And then lead status. Let's go ahead and do a new lead. There is a drop down. The ones that we've been discussing, we just learned about sphere, prospect, new lead, etc. And what do we learn about those campaigns? Campaigns are based on status and type. So guess what? I have a default buyer campaign, and that's the one I'm going to attach that I want you to test. Now, the lead source is defaulting me to manual add, which is correct because guess what? You're manually adding it. So even if this did come from Zillow, we could use a hashtag or wherever if it came from some other source. But for this, let's go ahead and leave this as manual add, and I am the lead owner. Any admins out there, you're going to have different choices. You know, if you're adding this lead on behalf of the company, you'd pick that. But most of us are agents, and you're just going to see yourself as we should. Okay? Hopefully everyone's good so far. We're rounding the corner here. This is the fun part, and this is what I'm really asking you to do. If you're trying to say, well, do I want to keep using this or not? Should I use this? If you're in here, please do this, and you'll have your mind blown. So I'm going to go ahead and do the system buyer campaign. Or in this example, we have the new lead buyer. We have a brand new one, system buyer, but just for time's sake, I'm just going to say new lead buyer, but you're making the connection, right? Campaigns based on status and type. So what kind of campaign do you think I'd use? Well, how about the new lead buyer? If this was a seller, guess what? If you said you use the default seller, you'd be correct. Making sense to everybody? It's just a test. I'll leave any discussion of lenders to each of your individual offices because that can vary per state and office. But let's put in a note. Let's say we found this person wants to purchase in 1, 2, 3 months, is pre-approved. So far, so good. Wants pool, big backyard, single story. Now, I could add this, and this applies when you are importing leads. Yeah, we'll record the notes. Yeah, the notes goes on your lead record, but can I search for any of these notes? You cannot. But what I can do is use hashtags. This is the only instance where you actually have to use a hashtag symbol when creating a hashtag. Everything else, you can just type the word in, no spaces. But when you're adding it for the first time, this is the one time you have to add a hashtag symbol. You are adding a lead, a contact for the first time. So keeping that in mind, that is not my note. That is for every single one of you, just to remember, right? I would rewrite this hashtag 1, 2, 3 months, comma, no space, hashtag symbol, pre-approved. Remember, it can be anything. You're the only one that sees it, comma, no space, hashtag symbol, pool, comma, no space, hashtag symbol, big backyard. Getting the idea here? Now, these all become searchable values in the system. Show me everybody that has the hashtag 1 to 3 months, that has pre-approved, that has pool, that has big backyard. You just found a listing that has a great big backyard and you think this would be perfect. Single story. If you get this part out of everything we talked about today, then I would be super happy. I mean, I'm hoping that you see, get your people in, reach out to your people, and then follow up with them. Oh, they're not liking my email over there. See? Let's try it one more time. See if they'll let me put one. BoldTrail@gmail.com. Might have to put in a real one. Oh, that one let me do it. Now, the good news is the system will tell you when we try to email that person and it bounces back, and it will unsubscribe them automatically if it's a bogus email. Okay. Okay, now we're back at the contact record. Here's your final steps, friends. Take a look around before I start moving. I want you to say, a lot of info on here. I heard other questions of, can I put in other numbers? Yeah, in our edit profile here, you can add birthdays, home anniversaries, second numbers, third numbers, second addresses, valuations, lenders, all kinds of neat stuff. But on the main contact record, again, on the left, all my primary contact info, summary source, center, everything that's ever happened. Campaigns added. See, look at all these hashtags I added. Single story, big backyard. That's me. Got assigned to me because it's my lead. It added the campaign, that new lead buyer. Is this making sense to everyone? So we just totally turned on the automation for this person, and it automatically attached a listing valuation for his address over here on the far right. So all you got to do is add a search alert and a market report, and then I'll get you out of here. Okay? Please join me on Monday. And we have a slide or two more before I get you on your way. But set up a search alert and send it to yourself and search. Click plus add. You can have 5 per contact. Pretty sweet. You can customize subject lines. You know, these are Brett's dream homes or something, or use whatever. You can email CC or use our like default, if you will. You know, I'm going to set one up. So set one up just like you know how to do, right? Just keyword search what you're looking for, add multiple areas, do a polygon. Maybe I only want condos and single families. I mean, make it a real search because I want you to see how this works. So when we're talking to our clients for real, right, that you are, let's put up to $1 million. Seeing what you have, you know, maybe I only want just listed. Maybe I'm giving them just open houses. Maybe I want to add some keywords. Maybe I don't want the HOAs to be over $100 or something. I mean, this is going to be connected to your own MLS, so I can't speak. Yours might not look exactly like mine, but if I said HOA fee, I don't want, it's only $100, and you can add multiple keywords. Okay, so I'd experiment with that a little bit. Go ahead and set the alert before you save it. Why? I like to advise that, well, I only got 3 results that are $1 million, condos, single family. and maybe I want to get more than that. So I'd readjust my search before I emailed it out to you. And saying, you only got 3 out of that. So I go back to edit and tweak it. If I liked what I saw, I could email it right to you, my client, to yourself, text it, copy the link, and send you the link. Step 1, or 2, actually, because you already put the search alert on, or excuse me, the campaign on when we added the contact for the first time. Now we just added a search alert. Now we're going to add a market report. And you're like, what's a market report? Well, you're about to find out. And that's why I'm asking you to test it. Go ahead and click that plus add, search for your location, keyword, type her in, see what you see. Area, neighborhood, there's my city, there's the county, San Diego. This report goes once every 2, 3, or once a month, every once a week. Think of it as an area summary, average list price, average sold price, total number of homes for sale in the last 30 days. But it's a great tool. You need to understand how these works. Hit add, or how it works, and then you can send it to yourself now, as long as you didn't use the email you log in with. Folks, you are good. That is where I'm going to stop here today. And with these things in mind, if you do some searching, you do some clicking, you're going to understand. And one other thing I'd ask you to do, when you see your search alert, I mentioned it earlier, but I'm going to say it again. And you say, okay, here's all my property results for San Diego. Cool. So once you click on one of those, forgive me while I scroll for a minute, I'm going to ask you to just save a property as a favorite. And this is where you're going to really see the behavioral automation kick into gear. You can do anything else in the world you want, and you'll start to see how it works. But once you click on something, go ahead and save it. Right? If you're not logged in already, it'll ask you to. And watch what the system does for you. And watch how it engages your client. And then you'll understand why this can convert at 5 to 10 times any other system in terms of conversion, meaning a real conversation. So, keep in mind, support-wise, 7 days a week, we have live chat. Yep, real people. And support at eXp Realty. We have live coaching, training every single week. We here at the training team are doing everything we can to continue to evolve as our landscape evolves, as the technology landscape evolves, and we're going to continue to do that and continue to give you stuff to help you win. Okay, so keep that in mind. This can be accessed from the dashboard when you're logged in, or you can just type up top learning portal or just training, or you can go to that learning portal when you first log in, and that will launch you into, well, our learning portal. Okay. I think we've had enough today. I hope you agree, and I hope that you feel excited about what's coming up next. Okay, and I thought that I had, there we go. Review, refresh, re-encourage, put your people in, put them on automation. Once that's all done, then I can be more proactive in my approach and my follow-up and talk about my neighborhood and, coastal stuff, just for me personally, but wherever you're at, your deal, right? Would you please be so kind? I know we're all being asked to do surveys and how did we do and this, that, and the other. You all are making some decisions out there. eXp is asked, and I'm encouraging that. Pull your phone up if you've never done this before. Go for your camera app. Pull that camera up on there until you get a little, oh, you mean this? And then it will tell you, click on it, and then you can fill it out. We'd all really appreciate it and appreciate you being here with that. So let's see. Monday, that is the 23rd. We're going to be doing some fun stuff here. We're calling it Next Level Training. More to come. And I wanted to thank you all for being here. Hopefully you got all your questions answered. I know we're rounding the corner here at the 10. Thank you for being here.